Alright, so I guess right now we'll start speaking to all these red dots. Well, no, before we do that, let's I guess we'll just use this. Let's see what Sarah's up to. I didn't even realize Sarah was here. Oh, I see her. Yo, Yo, tell me if you see Sarah. Like, she blends in so well right there. You see that corner? I was right here. I barely seen her. Oh, instructor. Were you checking out the old schoolhouse? Yep. Just a quick peek inside, though. You'll be pleased to know that there don't seem to be any major changes since last month. I'm totally fine with that. At least that means we could just focus on studying for our midterms then. I really would like to know what's going on with this building, though. Well, whether we ever find out or not all depends on your investigations. Still, I think you guys are edging closer to whatever that truth may be. And you almost seem ready to start using combat links at a more advanced level too. More advanced level? What advanced level? You mean there's more? Oh, your Arcus units still have plenty of little tricks and features hidden away. The greater their awareness of your link partner, the more effective your combat link will be. Is she just referring to, like, finishing blow? But don't take my word for it. Try it out during your next investigation. Sure. I don't really know what she's trying to get at. Just try not to think about the old schoolhouse for now. The last thing I need is the vice principal breathing down my neck because you didn't do well in your midterms. Chances are they might even stop the investigations to make you guys focus on your studies too. Then I'd never find out what's going on with the old schoolhouse. Guess I'd better get back to studying. Damn, she really baited you. She wants you guys to do well on your midterms so that no one is on her case about it, whether it's Heinrich or the Principal Van Dyke. That's what she wants. So she baited you. Yo, Ring got baited hard with the old schoolhouse stuff. Attaboy, hit those books. The bait was too vicious. Alright, I guess we'll... start over here. Hey there, Ring. What's up? Hold on. Let me guess. You were studying away nice and diligently when your orbital lamp suddenly went out. Swing and a miss. You two seem pretty relaxed despite how close midterms you're getting. Who do you think you're talking to? I know better than anyone that it's pointless to start studying this late in the game. How's that working out for you? Pro's actually pretty good when it comes to the practical stuff. Survival skills, first aid, all those kinds of things. Really? See? All stuff you don't need to study for. But if you're really feeling shaky about any of it, I'm happy to teach you a thing or two. Oh, okay, so this will be a bonding point, huh? Let me save. Well, come back if you feel like getting some proper schooling. I'll teach you everything there is to know. I'm sure it'd be educational. Crow is so funny. You feeling shaky on the practical stuff? I can give you the full rundown. Let's do it. Sure, I'll take you up on that. Wait, you serious? The idea of Crow teaching anyone anything is a little unnerving. Were you just joking? Nah, it's cool. Might as well show you the ropes. Cool if we borrow a chair or two, George? Go for it. And so, Crow passed all of his knowledge on to Reen. That about sums up what they'll be testing you first years on. Should probably make sure you've got CPR down too. I do actually need to brush up on that. Do you think it'll come up? It's only one of the most basic things anyone would expect out of a Thor student, so it wouldn't hurt to know. Right, here's how it goes. If you find someone who's collapsed, first step is checking whether or not they're conscious. If they're unconscious, it's safe to assume that they're in trouble. Next, you're going to want to shout for help. You're not going to want to try and handle this on your own, got it? The more people you have helping you out, the better their chances are to survive. That makes sense. Next up is making sure they're breathing. If they aren't, or something's weird about the way they are, it's CPR time. This basically involves giving them a repeated combination of chest compressions and rescue breaths. You need to keep this up until their pulse and breathing return, got it? Don't give up until the very end. Understood. He does seem like the kind of person I could count on in a jam. I guess George was right about him being good at the practical stuff. Now all you gotta do is put that into practice. If you see a girl in need, you better get right in there. When she wakes up and sees you saved her life, instant fireworks. Your hands and lips are already in the right spots already. Every time I think anything positive about you, you go and say something like that. Oh well, this was useful though. Thanks for taking the time to teach me. Good luck, my son. Go out there and get some good grades for me. Crow is quite the guy. Your bond with Crow strengthened. That should be enough to cover you for now. Yeah, maybe I should get you to treat me to something nice if you do well. He might not act like it, but Crow's actually really smart. Kind of a shame that he skips class all the time. He'd probably do well if he didn't. Damn. Okay, I need to figure out who I'm gonna save my 3 bonding events for. Now, I normally don't pick characters like Crow, which is why I kind of did Crows. I normally don't pick characters outside of the party. So realistically, I should do ಠಃLove, but I'm not. I'm keeping ಠಃLove. I don't care. I'll probably keep ಠಃLove, and I'll probably keep Laura and Elisa. And then I'll probably... maybe I'll stick with... Eustace and Gaius? Are the two of you going over Erebonian history? I can't memorize things like this. I guess it's all pointless. Fee, that seems a little harsh. Oh, I know. Why don't you join us, Reem? I'm sure it would make studying more enjoyable for Fee, too. Study with Emma and Fee? That sounds like a good idea to me. The exam is going to be focused on the War of the Lions, right? That's right. Shall we start from the beginning then? Let's do it. After that, Dracos gathered soldiers in the North Highlands, and in the year 952 of the Septian calendar, he liberated the capital, bringing the war to an end. Excellent. Well done, Fee. I guess it stuck. Incidentally, the war came to an end in July of that year, which is next month, so that's easy to remember. Look at Emma. Yo, Emma out here. Yo, that's a top tier way to help somebody out. Like, I'm one of those type of people. I might be more like Fee when it comes to this sort of thing, but something like this would help me way more. They say it was raining in Heimdall that day, but legend has it that the moment Emperor Draco stepped into the city, the rain stopped. Damn! Yo, Dracos was really that guy. Damn. Adios was listening to him? Huh. That's neat. Yeah, that seems like a story that'll stick in my memory. You're a pretty good teacher, aren't you? Well, I'm always using tricks like this to help me remember things. If you're having fun while you study, it makes it that much easier for the material to stick in your memory. That's true. Interesting. So that's your method. Well, if you can do it, we can do it too. Shall we finish this stuff off then? Please. Green stayed with Emma and Fee for a while longer, making sure they knew their Airbonian history back to front. Your bond with Emma strengthened, your bond with Fee strengthened. Green and Emma reached link level 2. I can't really memorize this kind of stuff. Remembering where I've played explosives and stuff's easy though. Wow. Sorry to say, I don't think that's going to show up on our midterms. That seems to have been a rewarding study session for Fee. Thank you, Rain. I hope we both do well on the exams. Alright, I reloaded just in case. I don't want anything too advanced. Oh, so this is where you are. Wow, when you guys study, you two don't mess around. Well, no better motivator than the fear, right? Our exams start tomorrow and we've got to know our orbital science. I want to make sure I study as much as possible. Or I want to make sure I study as much as I possibly can before then. There's no such thing as too prepared. Besides, this is our last chance to get a full day of studying in. How about it, Reen? Up for one last marathon study session? Let's study with the boys. Sure, I'll join you guys for a while. Orbital science isn't quite my forte anyway. In that case, let's get started with the basics. Sounds good to me. So, orbital energy is generated by septium, right? And it differs from the other types of energy that it replenishes itself over time. It's hard to imagine what life would be like without it. Orbital energy is in everything. Lighting, railways, telephones, battle orbments. That segs nicely into our next topic. Let's talk about battle orbments. Their first key feature is their portability. The second is their ability to synchronize with their user, allowing them to easily use orbital arts. Magic for everyman, or magic for the everyman. Feature 3 is their flexibility. A battle orbment's capabilities can exchange dramatically based on the quartz within. That summary wouldn't have been more perfect if we read it out of the textbooks. That's how Maki is. I can't believe you could rattle all of that without even stopping to think. But if you already have the basics down, are you just trying to help me instead of focusing on what you really need to study? No, it's not like that. Reciting the information I've learned like this helps it stick in my memory. Yeah, it might look flashy, but this is really productive studying for me too. Well, everyone needs a method. As I said earlier, it's not possible to be too prepared. And while we still have a lot of ground to cover in our orbital science review, I would appreciate it if you would help me study for a few others when we're done. Of course! I'd be happy to. Really? Well, thanks. Well, yeah, Makis, we gotta help you. You're helping us out. And plus, we know you want to beat Emma. Ring, Makis, and Elliot continued their orbital science studies, feeling much more confident about the exam every minute. Your bond with Elliot strengthened. Your bond with Makis strengthened. Thanks for helping us study, Ring. Hopefully we'll both do well in our midterms. No. We've gotten to the point as a society where orphans are pretty much an essential part of our daily lives. It can't hurt to have a firm grasp on all their uses and applications. Okay, so now we can reload and just do the rest. Let's start at the gymnasium. Wait, what? I was like, I seen something shining. I'm like, what the hell? A book entitled Military Science. A premier sits upon the bench like a courageous commander. This is one well-written book. The illustrations really bring things to life too. Wait a second, this probably belongs to someone. Nobody would leave a book like this behind, so I'm sure they'll be back soon. I'll just leave this here. Increase your knowledge in military science. Wow, we actually needed that. What the hell? I would have never seen it unless I glanced at the corner of my eye. That was crazy. Because I had already came here before. Yeah, there's no telling what I probably already missed. What the? Oh, are you two studying? Lisa probably met up with Laura because she was worried about her. Yeah, we both figured we had a lot of art to brush up on. I see you, Elisa. It's probably not our most important subject in the grand scheme of things, but that doesn't mean we shouldn't try. I've never had to deal with a series of exams right in a row like this. Laziness could very well be tantamount to failure. Would you like to join us, Rain? I'd love to. The exam's supposed to focus on the basics of illustration, right? You got it. Let's get started. How about you ask the first question, Rain? Sure. Okay, first question. Elisa, what is a descent? I think it's a drawing that makes use of monochrome lines of varying heaviness to highlight the way the light hits its subject. You think correctly. So, Laura, what exactly is a sketch? A sketch portrays a subject roughly with very little in the way of detail. I suppose it could be likened to an early first draft of a drawing. That's right, sketches and descents are basically two sides of the same coin, since both are used to start a painting. The big difference is that descents usually take some time to finish, whereas sketches are pretty quick. But there's a method that's even quicker and more basic than sketching. Any ideas, Laura? That would be Crocus, I believe. You two know your stuff, but maybe that just means we should be using harder questions to study with. Let me see if I can find some. Hey Rain, if you want, I can ask the next set of questions. It's hardly effective studying if you don't get to answer any questions yourself. It's okay, don't worry about it. Well, I was ready. I don't know what they were gonna ask, but my guessing ability is top notch. Just give me a minute here and I'll find you a really good one. Well, if you insist. Maybe we should have expected this. He really is a kind-hearted person. I mean, to be fair, I've been studying too, though. And so, the three continued their art study session. Your bond with Elisa strengthened. Your bond with Laura strengthened. Thanks for joining us. Having you around really helped us out today. Don't worry about it, Elisa. I can say the same for you. Laura seems fine now, too. I'm not really sure what was with her earlier. I wonder... I didn't say anything. Anyway, hopefully all this hard work will pay off when we actually take those exams. Fingers crossed. Good luck with your exams. You're not going to outscore me with all the studying I've been doing, but good luck nonetheless. The non-martial arts aren't exactly my forte, so a little extra studying might be in the best interest. I mustn't get distracted by other issues. So there is something on her mind then. Thors was founded with the hope of training up students to excel with both the pen and the sword. I want to perform to my full potential in these midterms, so I can't afford to let other issues cloud my concentration. Let's look around, because that notebook that was on the bench, that surprised me. Why can't I talk? Oh, are the two of you studying military science? Looks like you guys are tearing through things too. More or less. You caught us just as we reached the section on military symbols. Care to join us? Sure, that didn't hurt. I didn't know a thing about military science until we entered the academy, so I'm not feeling terribly confident. It's not as though most schools teach military minutiae alongside literature and math. We're all in the same boat here. Either way, we'd be happy to have another person to paddle. Have a seat. I love Gaius' vibes. That's just big bro. Then let us begin. Map marking symbols are used to represent an assortment of different units and formations. This is the symbol for infantry. Okay, it's kind of like an envelope, except for the lines are going across completely. Like if you just erase those two bottom lines, it would just be an envelope. Reen, try to draw the symbol for the headquarters from memory. Gotcha. I'm pretty sure it's this. Okay. Kinda like an eraser. Like how the top part's up. Yeah, it's like an eraser. Guys, think you could draw the symbol for an armored troop? Sure, this should be it. And an egg yolk. Not really, but that's how I see it. Or it's like a rug. Now I have a tough one for you. What does this symbol mean? It looks like two doors. That's engineer, right? You got it. Okay, that's engineer. Yeah, there's so much to memorize for this class, and the fact that we're going in blind makes it even worse. These seem like the raw basics too. Given that not all of us will end up involved with military, it does seem a little excessive. But bear in mind that our military science class is to teach us how to deal with the harsh situations efficiently. In that sense, there's plenty to learn even if we never find ourselves on the battlefield. That's probably why it's mandatory. If it could save our lives, we owe it to ourselves to do well. Agreed. Yusa's guys and Ring stayed together for a while longer, continuing to test each other on military science. Your bond with Yusa strengthened. Your bond with Guy strengthened. That was a nice little session right there. Yeah, look at the rain outside the window. This is a vibe, man. As students here, military science is one subject we can't avoid. Make sure to review the subject thoroughly. This seems like a topic that's likely to come up. I'm not that familiar with it either, so I think it's a good idea to study upon it more. Alright, let's go speak with ಠಃLove.
Oh, hi Ring. How goes the studying?
I suppose it's probably fine. But these are going to be my first midterms ever, so I'm more than a little nervous.
First years, how innocent. It doesn't help that military academics have a lot of subjects, or it doesn't help that military academies have a lot of subjects other schools don't. But you'll get used to it. That's true. Combat studies and military science stimulating too. Oh, and you're going to want to make sure that you're ready for political economics exam too.
Why is that?
Well, it's Mustache Man's subject. That's not a very nice thing to call Vice Principal Heinrich, Angie.
He does seem like the type to write a ridiculously hard exam.
Oh, I know. How about I give you a hand studying for it, if you're free at least?
Are you sure?
Of course, you're always helping me out, right? Political economics is ಠಃLove's strongest subject. You wouldn't want to pass this up.
Studying with ಠಃLove, this will consume a study point, and afterward the time of day will advance to evening and the main story will proceed. Wait, before I do this.
Oh, no problem. You must have a lot more subjects to study for anyway. Still, if you get any free time you want to fill with political economics, come back and we'll hit the books.
I appreciate the offer. I was about to say, my question is, we can't actually leave, right? Okay, yeah, we can't go to Trista. Okay, I just wanted to make sure. I didn't want to be missing out on talking to the townsfolk in Trista.
Do you want me to give you a hand with your studying? I think I owe you a few favors.
Study with ಠಃLove. This will consume a study point, and afterward the time of day will advance to evening and the main story will proceed. Well, if you're offering, I'd really appreciate it.
I sure am. Let's get started then.
Thus, reading until a study session began. Most of the stuff I was unsure about makes a lot more sense now.
That's good to hear. We should probably go over some current affairs too.
For an exam?
Yeah, the vice principal has a habit of putting questions based on recent news into his exams. This year, maybe we should go over some recently enacted laws.
Yeah, that sounds like this kind of thing he'd put in there. Just so most people could be caught off guard, get it wrong, and get lectured at for being indifferent about society. Is that what happened to you? I'd rather avoid that.
Recent laws. The Financial Transaction Act from last year is one of the best known, I suppose. It requires you to inform prospective buyers of the risk when selling stock or securities. A number of people have suffered massive losses buying shares lately, so it was passed to keep people informed.
So that's the history behind the Financial Transaction Act.
And then there's the Imperial Transportation Act, which determines the rules of the road for drivers. That was last year too. There are more and more people buying cars lately, nobles and commoners, but car accidents were getting out of hand.
Yeah, the shit that was taking place in Crossbow is crazy. Like those guys, the 3 idiots that was driving around real fast and shit. Man, those guys were really annoying. Where did they come from? Weren't they from Calvert? I believe they're from Calvert, those 3 idiots.
And that was especially true in Heimdall, which is why the law was enacted there first.
I'll have to try and remember that.
And then there's the Provincial Taxation Act, which impacted just about every province you could think of.
In other words, a fancy name for the much rivaled tax increases. They're being enacted in the provinces, almost doubling land and business taxes. You've probably at least heard about them. Yep, we dealt with that. I have, yeah. It seemed like a pretty major topic back in Celtic.
If he's going to set questions about a recent law, it'll probably going to be about one of these 3. Hopefully that'll be some help at least.
Even if none of them come up, you've really helped me out. I'm feeling a lot more confident now. Thank you both for all your help.
I didn't do anything at all. I'm just hanging out. If there's anything else you want to know, let me know. I'd be happy to help.
Thanks, I will. Oh, I freaking love ಠಃLove. I love ಠಃLove. I'm sorry, I don't care. I'm a ಠಃLove stan. I believe in ಠಃLove. Your bond with ಠಃLove is strengthened. Oh, it's already time to head home. I didn't even realize because of the rain. I guess I should get ready to head back to the dorms. Yo, it is pouring still.
Excuse me?
Who is that? Lovely voice. At first, I almost thought it was Emma. It listen to this music. Oh, she looks like a Rosenberg doll a
I
little
do
bit.
apologize for stopping you on a rainy day like this.
Obviously not as small as one, but she's definitely has the cute factor. Up to 100. A maid-like girl. Where did you come from? I've never seen you before.
Do you know if this is the building in which I might find the principal's office?
Oh, yeah, you're in the right place. His office is in the East Wing, first floor. The receptionist might have gone home already, but I can show you the way if you'd like.
Bianca, you probably did go.
Thank you for your kindness.
I love her voice. She's quite cute.
But I couldn't possibly trouble you more than I have already. I'll be able to find the way, I'm sure. Well then, if you'll excuse me, Master Reen.
Oh, she knows his name. Irene doesn't seem like he knows her. So who in the world is this? Master Reen. Why is she calling him Master Reen? Well, it does say she's a maid-like girl, but still, it doesn't explain why she knows his name. You know what's crazy though? I think this was a while back, but I was laughing about it because I don't remember exactly who said it, or it could have even been Reen. I don't know who said it, but I remember it was kind of like a slight joke about, you know, our class. It would be nice if our class had like a maid. Maybe she's a maid for our class. Maybe that's how she knows him. I have no clue. I'm probably reaching. But yeah, there was a joke about us getting a maid. Not really, but it was just like a thought one of them had. This was a while back though. Yeah, how would she know? Like, I'm genuinely curious. But she just showed up to the academy, clearly. Unless she somehow... I don't know. I can't even say she ran into Sarah and learned about her that way, because how would she know exactly... Why would she know his name specifically or how he looked? The important part is, where did she come from though? Because unless she's like a maid for... I don't know, I mean...
Wait a minute.
It's hard to say.
How does she know who I am?
Yeah, that is the mystery here. And where does she come from? Is that Elisa? The girl Elisa showed up now?
Hey there, Elisa. Heading back to the dorm?
Weren't you with Laura? Why'd you come from that way? Or maybe she went to check in with Emma and V.
Yep. Emma and the others are staying a little longer to cram a little more.
That sounds about right with Emma. She didn't go, top scorer for nothing.
But I figured I'm not going to learn much more today, so I might as well call it a night and start prepping for tomorrow.
Right. Well, you're going my way, so what do you say we head back together?
I mean, you might as well. You're headed to the same place, and no point. What are you gonna do? Wait for one or the other to get there first? Hey, what are we saying here?
Sure, okay.
Yeah, the rainy days is a vibe. Yeah, who was that
Hey,
though?
it's not often the two of us get to walk back to the dorms together, is it?
I'm genuinely curious about that maid. Like, she just showed up out of nowhere. And there isn't really a reason for our class to have a maid. I know I was saying that somebody joked about, having a maid. So the question is, I'm trying to really pinpoint where she could have came from. I don't even know if that's possible. It's just that, assuming she came from, obviously somewhere else, like outside of, Trista, she could have something to do with one of our classmates, which is the reason why she knows Ring's name. Maybe they talked about him or something, and she got a description from them. But to have a maid, you're most likely a noble. So it would really only boil down to, well, we can mark uses off. I don't think that chick is gonna have anything to do with uses. So it would only be Laura or Lisa, right? But Laura has a butler. I mean, I'm sure she has maids as well. Now, for Elisa rode the train, so we don't know anything about her situation. All we know is she's from Ruhr.
Well, at least I got something good out of this downpour.
This guy talking crazy. Yeah, I knew Elisa wasn't gonna like that one.
Is there even a filter between your brain and your mouth?
No need for that between friends. But you're in good company. My sisters asked me that before too.
No, I kind of want to meet the family.
She must be a saint to have put up with you all these years.
Like, I remember seeing her. Her name is very similar to Elisa. I remember seeing her in the intro. She was very cute. Like, very cute.
Anyway, how do you feel? All prepped and ready for our exams?
I mean, I'm not really sure, but I feel like I'm gonna ace it.
Not sure. I gave it the best I've got. Still, I've got that nagging feeling I could have hit the books a little harder.
What? We went crazy. Even prior to this day right here, we had already studied, Ring. Come on now.
I wish I was as smart as you.
I wish I was as smart as Emma.
Back when we took the entrance exam, only Emma and Machias scored higher than you, right?
Only Emma and Machias. I want to know where everyone else plays, because I feel like Eustace is smart as hell. Like, are we crazy? I think Ellie is probably kind of average.
Eustace came in a little higher than me too.
Oh, there we go. I figure he was a top scorer.
Back home, I usually came in near the top in exams.
I'm genuinely surprised Machias doesn't brag about that over Eustace. Instead, he's too focused on Emma.
I guess that goes to show that Arabonia has no shortage of smart people.
No doubt about that. Bookworms pour in here from all corners of the Empire. You said you're from Ruhr, right? Coming out on top in a city that size is still pretty impressive.
I want to go to Ruhr. I want to see what that's like.
I suppose, though that was just at the Sunday school level.
Sunday school, huh? What's up?
Aren't you curious about, my family and stuff?
Oh yeah, I'm extremely curious, but there's no point in bothering someone about something if they don't want to tell anyone. You'll just have to tell us whenever you're ready. There's no point in prying.
The mysterious Elisa R, agent of national intrigue?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, of course I am. But you probably have good reasons for keeping it under wraps, so I don't want to pry.
which is the way that you're supposed to go about it.
It's not that major or anything.
What? If it's not that major, then why are you even so desperate to hide it in the first place? Because the way you're dragging it out for so long that it seems like it's a bigger deal than it should be.
Especially compared to what you and Fee have told us about yourselves.
I don't really think rings is a big deal. The dude just said he was adopted, which is a lot of people's backgrounds, I would assume. But Fee is crazy. That is crazy. The fact that you have a Jaeger among your class is insanity. I don't think Ring's little situation, I don't think his situation is quite comparative to that. The only one that's probably as crazy as Fee is maybe Emma's, from what we've seen of her so far. Even though we have no idea about her background, but just the stuff she's capable of doing. I'm interested in her.
I've never really thought my family circumstances were a big deal, though Fee's past sure came as a surprise. I wonder now, when I look at her, what her life in a Jaeger Corps must have been like.
I don't think you really want to visualize something like that. Jaegers are different, especially depending on what corps you're in.
It seems like Instructor Sarah knows more about her past than we do.
He definitely does. It's kind of interesting though, because where did they meet? Like, how did she come to know Fee exactly? Because I'm assuming that Sarah obviously is a bracer, or she was a bracer. But maybe it was across one of her missions or something. Like maybe she got involved with Jaegers somehow. I'm not sure. I'd love to see that though.
Back at the entrance ceremony, I got the impression they'd met before.
They have. The way they were talking, and Sarah knowing like Fee like the back of her hand, like little habits, like knowing she was gonna avoid the trap.
Same. Oh, speaking of weird meetings, I ran into someone kind of strange earlier.
Oh yeah, the maid. Yeah, bring her up. Let's see if we get a reaction out of Elisa. Because it's kind of funny that she showed up right after she left.
Oh?
Yeah, I was talking to her just before you called to me.
Yep, she's quite cute. Short hair and everything. Ring told Elisa about the woman in the maid uniform.
A maid who knew your name?
Yeah, it's kind of weird, honestly.
This isn't the part where it turns out she knows you because you've tried to hit on her in town before, is it?
Elisa, these are some wild accusations you're making right now.
As if an upstanding guy like me could pull off the Casanova act. She seemed a couple years older than us, maybe 20 or so.
A maid in her early 20s.
Yeah, she did look fairly young, honestly. You look even younger than Sarah. Oh,
Something
she's
wrong?
thinking.
No, just thinking.
I might have some. The maid has something to do with Elisa after all.
There's no way it could really have been her.
Uh-oh. Well, Elisa, all I can say to you is what you're thinking is probably correct. And with that being said, you might have to just go ahead and expose your background.
Mother keeps her far too busy to find the time to come here. Ahem. Anyway, maybe the upper class dorm has a new hire starting out or something?
Yeah, I don't think that's the case. And if there is a hire, unfortunately for you, it's probably for our class.
Though that wouldn't explain how she knew your name. Maybe you're just more popular than you let on.
Yeah, that's not the case.
If only.